What's going on, Power Talk? I got a good episode today here. I'm with two SBC members. I have Will Robinson and John Rosa with me today. We're going to be chatting up about just baseball topics. I've got some hot takes for you, some award predictions, maybe even some dark horses that we think might take a little run in the playoffs. So, yeah. To start off, we're going to go with playoff predictions because I know the season just started, kind of just formulated a little. I mean, the Yankees. I hate the Yankees. We're also two Phillies fans and a Texas Rangers fan, so kind of might be a slight bias in this, but try not to as much as we can. But I mean, playoff predictions. I hope we don't do what we did last year. Talking from a Philly standpoint, hope we don't do what we did last year and choke that 3-2 lead. But all I'm gonna say is you don't want to see us in October. You don't want to see us
specifically
in October.
the Braves.
The Braves, Spencer Strider, I know you're hurt, but you
have to get to October 1st, though, my friend.
Okay, all right. You're just happy that your team made it that far.
Hey, one more series down, more to come.
Okay, all right.
We'll see what happens.
All right, so what do we think our World Series matchup is going to be this year? Diamondbacks. I don't think the Diamondbacks are going to make it.
I don't think so
No,
either.
not at all.
But what are we thinking? AL.
My team. I think it's going to be an NL win. Just there's a couple teams out west that are a little too stacked, but the AL East I think will produce a good playoff run out of either the Yankees or I think the Orioles will be one of those two teams that might make a good playoff run.
I like the Orioles.
I do too.
They're a fun team to watch. Adley
Rutschman and Cedric Mullins they're like my boys.
They're fun to watch. It's a nice young up and coming team. They got a lot to root. I just don't know if it's their year just yet.
Maybe too much, not enough experience.
I just think they don't have that playoff experience just yet. But hey, new ownership. They're gonna keep signing big name players. Corbin Burns. I don't know how I feel about him this year. He's getting on the older side. I think by this time next year, Grayson Rodriguez is without a doubt going to be significantly better than him. But I think overall, they're going to win probably a series, but I don't see them making it all the way to the World Series, if even winning it.
I think it all depends on what help they get from the young studs that are coming up out of their minor league team, because Jackson Holliday's still down there. They have a couple other guys. I don't know if y'all saw their baseball score last week, but they beat another team
25 to
11. Some of them were batting 600 in the game.
10 RBIs.
10 RBIs. So I think it all depends on what help they get, because I know Jackson Holliday could be a key piece, but I mean, they're way deeper than Jackson Holliday too. So
all I know is that if the Dodgers don't make a deep run, this is a fraudulent season for them. Yeah. Wow.
They're my winner.
How do you spend that much money and not at least, if you make it to the World Series, yes, their goal is to obviously win.
100%.
But if you don't at least make it, that in my opinion, that's
spending $1 billion.
Yep.
Yeah. If you don't win a World Series spending that much money, then you failed.
Yamamoto, he didn't even have a great first game, but he picked it up. He picked it up the second game.
I mean,
he picked it up compared to the first game.
Personally, for me, I think my World Series prediction, little 2017 rematch between the Dodgers and the Houston Astros. People, I mean, they hate on the Astros, but I hate them too. I despise them. But as much as I hate them, I do have to give them their flowers, give them some respect. I think they're just gonna keep going. I think this change up. I think this is a year where they just go back to the World Series. They're a well-oiled machine. I don't see them slowing down. Justin Verlander, that man could be 55 years old. He will still show.
That's my my fantasy pitch. Well, Spencer Strider was my pitcher, and then in fantasy, I'm also getting cooked in fantasy. My team is also off. Actually, okay. To be fair, I did have a few injuries that definitely did not help, and I did draft a little bit injured. That was my fault. But
you didn't draft very well, but that's okay.
I'm also going against baseball heads, and I'm not.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I know what I'm talking about, but I'm not.
You're not knowing
the little,
round 25.
Yeah,
You're not really knowing.
I'm not knowing any sleeper picks that might win me the league.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. Going off that Houston Astros pick, I think obviously with pitching, Justin Verlander does have to come back healthy. Framber Valdez is now on the injured list, which is a little bit of a concern. He got pulled off his start last night against the Texas Rangers, but it's all about Hunter Brown had a wishy-washy first two games. So I think it's all about their rotation and can their first-year manager get them together, just get them deep into the playoffs, because the AL is a gauntlet this year between the Yankees, the Orioles, the Rangers. The Mariners are a good little team down the stretch, I think. So I think it's all about what their pitching can do, because, I mean, obviously, Jose Altuve, Locke,
Yeah.
I mean,
Alex Bregman.
Bregman is a lock.
Yordan Alvarez is the best pure hitter in
tanks.
baseball.
And Kyle Tucker.
Kyle Tucker
Shout out
is
Kyle
a right
Tucker.
fielder.
My first round
He's-
pick. People
he's-
did not like it, but he is a dog.
He's my MLB The Show legend right there. Dude, his swing is so nice in the show.
Yeah,
Especially for how
100%.
bad I am. Like,
I mean,
it just works.
if you're talking about their pitching, you have to talk about Christian Javier as well. Christian Javier is
Yeah.
a great arm, and honestly, like Rono Blanco,
Yeah, don't even get me started.
The guy threw a no hitter.
Yeah,
That guy is so bad, and yet the Astros, I don't know how they are pitching whisperers there. It's insane. Like their lineup, they're gonna put up like a consistent number of runs per game, but as long as that rotation can stay healthy, and I don't think anyone's gonna compete with them in the AL West. I mean, the Mariners, they're a pretty good team, but like I don't think that like they're gonna get the job done. And the AL East, the teams are just gonna beat up on each other the entire season. I don't see any reality where the Astros don't snag the number 1 seed in the AL.
Yeah.
In
All
the
right.
whole AL,
In the entire AL.
the Yankees are gonna be a tough one.
I was gonna say,
I know,
I
but
literally
they're
was
gonna beat
just
up
We're gonna
on
talk about the AL. We gotta
There's
talk about the
five. There's
Yankees.
5 dependent teams.
Juan Soto. I hate him. I hate him with a fiery passion because of his stupid little shuffle. I hate it.
Yeah.
But he's
I
going.
mean, he's
around,
most
so.
people's MVP pick for this year. I mean, he's
Speaking-
a betting favorite as of today.
Speaking of MVP picks, what do we got? AL, NL.
Ooh,
What do
alright.
we have?
I'll start it off here. So for my NL MVP, he's the hottest player in baseball right now. It is Mookie Betts.
Yep.
Mookie Betts,
Second.
he has been insanely good so far this year. In South Korea and back in the States, he's been absolutely mashing. And the move to shortstop,
Yeah, that's what I was
heading
about to
into
say.
the
Yeah.
year, I did not know like whether that would end up working out. But like, hey, I mean, the guy's like 5'7". He's basically built for the position.
Exactly.
He's a very like athletic guy, and he can pretty much play anywhere on the diamond that's not a catcher. I mean, heck, put him on the mound, he probably will shove a couple of innings.
I mean, with that lineup, I think it helps a lot. I mean, he bats leadoff, and then he gets on base often. But I mean, even at the bottom of the lineup, when 1 through 9, that team is crazy good. And when you have Ohtani behind you, I mean, you're almost destined to get second or third or score runs just like off the bat. So I mean, his stat line's just gonna be off the charts once again this year.
I gotta give a shout out though to Fernando Tatis, another player, very exciting.
No.
I despise him. I don't care if he did steroids. The opposite of Mookie Betts, moving him from shortstop to right field. That man is insane out there.
Yeah, no doubt.
Highest outs above average in all of Major League Baseball last year. Platinum Glover, deserved it. Brian Hayes maybe could have gotten it, but Tatis deserved it. The guy rakes. He has half a season back where like he's facing Major League pitching, has a whole off season. He's ready to go. I think the Padres could be a team that I honestly wouldn't want to see them in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
They're a scary team. If they make it that far, albeit their team is made of glass.
True.
If they make it that far, then I think they'll be a team that no one will want to face. out there.
I mean, they made an 8-run comeback last night against the Cubs,
Yeah.
Exactly.
which
Down
was
8-0.
crazy.
And I think he had
winning
7
9.
runs in 1 inning, which was nuts.
Led by Tatis, out of all people.
Okay, first steroid user, so I wouldn't enjoy that. I also just don't think that anyone. I mean, the Dodgers are just they're just too good.
Yeah,
if
the Dodgers win 100 games, you're going to give an MVP to literally any batter you could.
1
on
through
that
3.
team.
Yeah.
One of those
Literally
3.
You can give it to
Literally
anyone.
anyone. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
I think one of them will get it. It just kind of makes sense.
Yeah,
Exactly.
For AL, I'm on the Yordan Alvarez hype train. I love Yordan Alvarez. I don't care what anyone says. That guy mashes. The only problem with him is defense and health.
Yep.
I mean, if he can just be a slightly below average defender in left field, then he will win the MVP. All he has to do is play 130, 140 games. He's going to hit 50, 60 bombs. That's all he does. He rakes. And I would love to see a 2015-esque kind of MVP showdown with Trout, Harper. I would love that. Trout's been off to a good start this year, but then again, every single home run he hits is a solo home run because nobody gets on base for him. And then I also got to shout out Adley Rutschman. Orioles, I mean, he's my favorite player on the Orioles. Great catcher. But next Buster Posey, if not already is.
Yeah.
And I think if the Orioles end up sneaking out that 1 seed, how could you not give it to him?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to throw a little bit of bias here, but I mean, finished second last year in AL MVP voting behind only Ohtani, Corey Seager. I think he's just going to have another good year. Yes, he's a little banged up and going to have to rest a couple of games because of hernia that he took on during the summer. But I mean, the man is a defensive wizard out there. I mean,
he has to stay healthy though.
I know, but
he's got to be out. He's got to be out.
But
out
I
there
mean,
for him to get an
guy was a
MVP.
key piece last year in the in the World Series run, but I think he's just integral to that team.
MVP is a regular season award, though. That's the thing.
Dude, I mean, finishing second.
Dude, the 76ers, the 76ers
Yeah,
are crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't see him
Alright.
falling. I don't see him falling off though. But I mean, another name that you can throw out there is Marcus Semien. Man's just played 162 games last
I'll
year.
give you that. He's
Very
not-
constant on the will play probably almost every game this year. So
All right, do you have an unbiased pick?
unbiased. All right, those are two great takes. Unbiased pick. I don't know. No, Adolis Garcia.
Carter.
No.
Wait till he gets a rookie of the year.
I don't know. Adley Rutschman, I think, has a good chance. I mean, best catcher in the league, go off what Will said. But, I mean, he's going to be driving a lot of runs in that lineup because they get on base, just like the Dodgers. So, I'd probably go with him.
All right. What are your thoughts?
Got
Here?
picks?
Besides Bryce Harper, of course.
No bias there, not at all.
No. He's the best player in baseball.
I agree with I don't agree with your AL, but NL I do. Mookie Betts just, I mean, the way he's playing right now, if he keeps this up, it's there's no way he doesn't. There's just, I mean, dude's killing it right now. I mean, the AL, I like the Adley take. I just think he's a little too young.
That's fair.
Not
Might
enough
be his
experience. I think in the future, yes. He does have a way better chance. Right now, no. I don't like Alvarez just because he's an Astro. I mean, that's just...
He also hasn't played a lot. I can't remember the last
his
time.
one
Will said
problem is
100
just staying
games. I
healthy.
can't remember the last time he touched that.
If he plays 130 games, he will have that MVP just by counting stats.
I'm gonna go with a little bit of a hot. I want Mike. I want Mike Trout.
How
would
can
love.
you hate on Mike Trout?
I would love for him to just come back after. I mean, poor guy with everything that.
Arborino is a god awful owner. He should sell the team. Personally, he is.
I would
just
love for the
disgraceful.
Angels to make a playoff run, especially after Ohtani left. Just kind of like a
just a little screw you, but that's not
But dude,
happening.
he's got no support. That's the only reason why.
He's
I
like
think
Russell
he
Westbrook after Kevin Durant left.
Like
He just
that's
has
the
no
only reason he might win
whatsoever.
it is because he has no one else
Exactly.
on his team, so he has to produce. And if he
Yeah.
doesn't produce, they're going to be one of the worst teams in the league if he doesn't produce.
I feel like we've avoided it. How do y'all feel about Juan Soto and Aaron Judge? Because I mean,
So
I feel like we
I
can't ignore that in the race.
Juan Soto and Aaron Judge, I believe they're at least two of the top three betting favorites,
One and
if
two
not
right
the
now.
top two.
Nah.
In my opinion, I mean,
I
that
don't think
Yankees
they keep
lineup
this
is super
up.
stacked, but every single year the Yankees are overhyped. Yankees and Mets. We're gonna throw the Mets in here too. Every single year they're completely overhyped. Every single year they just get way blown out of proportion on their obviously Aaron Judge is a very talented player. Deserved it last year. Honestly, in my opinion, 100%. I don't think
there was anyone else.
I don't
You
think
can't-
there was
after that,
any
you-
real
No.
competition. Ohtani decided that he couldn't throw a baseball anymore, so that kind of just ruled him out. And then Juan Soto, I mean, I didn't like him when he was on the Nationals. I didn't like him when he was on the Padres. I still don't like him when he's on the Yankees.
I think
Yeah.
I like him less now.
Oh,
Yeah,
100%.
I honestly, it just
when he was
hasn't
on the
gotten any better.
Padres, I was like, meh.
The Nationals, I mean, it was he was young, he was cool,
Yeah.
Whatever.
dude, he beat the Astros. I mean, as a Rangers fan, you have to be happy with that. So
Yeah, exactly. I mean, just when it comes down to it, I think he'll produce and put up the numbers. I just don't know if the Yankees will win enough games. In my
exactly.
opinion.
I mean, yeah,
That AL East is just too brutal, in my opinion.
I think he also has to stay away from pulling the ball because I mean, in San Diego, he got caught and trying to pull the ball, and especially
That
that
short
short porch. I feel like he's gonna be really tempted to try to pull, and I mean that led to a lot of ground balls last year. So if that happens,
Yeah.
it's definitely not Juan Soto. But I mean
the guy's going to walk 20% of the time and
Exactly.
strike out less than 5. You'll have that, but it's just more so just coming down to his approach. In my
exactly. That's how I feel.
Okay, all I know is that Wheeler is winning a Cy Young. That's all I know.
And he's my pick for the NL.
Yeah,
So-
he's also my
And
pick.
that is not biased. I don't care.
No.
That is not biased. He's goated. Wheels up. He is that
He's
guy.
elite right now. He
He's
is
that
so
guy.
good.
I don't care. You say whatever.
Especially-
anyone can say what they want. I don't care. He's winning.
Especially
there's no one else that I think will touch it.
Especially with Strider going down. I mean, Strider
Yeah.
was by far and away my pick.
Gone.
But
Now it's easily Wheeler.
Tommy
Wheeler's
John
to lose at this point.
exactly, Tommy
Yeah.
John just get everybody this year, which is a little frustrating as a baseball fan.
Yeah.
But I think Wheeler's if he doesn't get hurt and
That's
plays
true.
decent,
Yeah.
That's true.
then he should be fine.
Yeah, I just got to give a shout out to basically a very similar situation to Yordan Alvarez. Tyler Glasnow, if that guy stays healthy,
Gotta play some games.
he
Yeah.
shows.
He's
But
gotta
the
get
thing,
healthy,
his
man.
problem is that he does not pitch more than 15 times during the year. I
Yeah.
mean,
He's
he's
had
had
his glass.
He's had 2 pretty good starts so far, nothing that's like knocked my socks off or anything like that. But overall, like, I could see
He's
him
coming
going
back,
for it. It
though.
just depends on Wheeler and how he performs, and it's 100% his board to lose.
I mean, he's the ace in LA right now because Yamamoto, I wouldn't consider
I
him
don't
an
trust
ace
it.
yet.
That's our what. All right, you know what? Let's just go to a hot take right now. Hot take coming in. Yamamoto is overrated.
Oh, I agree. I mean,
I also
the
agree with
fastball has no movement. I mean, I think he'll get there as he spends time obviously coming from Japan, I mean, structure's a little bit different, but I feel like as he spends time in the MLB, that fastball will get a little bit developed, but right now it's just so hittable. I mean, that first start, he got absolutely shelled by the Padres, so...
Yeah,
I mean,
I just feel like in general, I think he's a good pitcher. Just I don't know how great he is.
The hype
is there. Once again, Dodgers, big market team. They're gonna get overhyped.
yeah.
And then I just don't know if I would risk paying that much money to a 20. How old is he?
20. He's not old.
He's
He's
not
young.
like crazy old.
He's not
but
crazy
still,
old, but he's
the
not-
potential's there. But like I just don't know if I trust it. I mean, being called like basically the greatest Japanese prospect
Yeah.
since Ohtani is like that's big shoes to fill, and I just don't know if I feel confident in filling them. Personally, I think Shoto Imanaga of the Cubs, I think he's going to end up as a better pitcher than Yamamoto. I mean, he throws 90 miles an hour, but that ball has movement. He throws the contact. He does exactly as needed, and yet he still gets out. He strikes guys out, and he's just a perfect guy for the Cubs rotation. He's going to eat up innings, and he's just going to get the job done, in my opinion.
And I feel like if he eats up innings when Justin Steele isn't playing, especially since he's on the 15-day IL until the end of April, I mean, he could solidify himself as number one because Justin Steele might not come back 100% healthy. He might have to have some like warm-up starts. But, I mean, if that's the case, Imanaga, I think, will be the Cubs' quote-unquote number one until Justin Steele is 100% back.
Not Kyle Hendricks? No?
Kyle Hendricks,
That fossil? of
not
the-
my take. Had a very bad game against the Dodgers, so... I mean,
Okay, well, we kind of talked on our NL Cy Young. So
AL time?
We didn't really go on the AL side, but I'll let you two
yeah.
battle that one out because
You
I'm
wanna go first?
more
I'll
of an
take
NL
him.
guy than a AL guy. So
Yeah, my AL Cy Young is Cole Reagans.
Stealing my pick here.
I mean-
I am Cole Reagan's number one
Yeah.
fan, if anyone. They also know that. I love
That's-
Cole Reagans.
No, he doesn't.
He's insanely good at baseball. Had him on my fantasy team last year when he was absolutely buns and carried me to a fantasy championship last year. This year, I unfortunately was not able to draft him, but
Biggest
it's
fan that doesn't
okay.
talk about him.
I've been talking about him. Just you haven't been in the right place. All
Okay.
right,
Yeah,
I'll let you talk about him.
I think he's going to come into a. I mean, I like the Royals this year, and I think it's all going to hinge on pitching, which he's their ace, the head of. I just think he's got to keep the ball in the yard. He's over his career. He's had a little bit of a trouble with the long ball, but I mean, even in 2 starts this year, I mean, he's kept the 1.46 ERA over 12 innings, which I'm starting to like. But I mean, if he continues that trend, I feel like he could be a good set in stone ace, and then have a chance at that AL Cy Young.
Not to mention 12 starts last year. Originally was a Texas Ranger. I'm sure that hurts a little bit now for you, John. But then basically got traded at the deadline. 12 starts, 2.5 ERA, striking guys out. His one problem is definitely the long ball, and he could
100%.
limit the walks a little bit. But the walks don't really matter when you're striking out 10 guys every 9 innings. It's really just not a worry.
I mean, ever since he left Texas, he's only gotten better, which is unfortunate. But I mean, even after the deadline, he got better after Texas, and then this year, I feel like he's going to be even better. So I have high hopes for Cole Reagans in Kansas City.
For me, my pick for Cy Young for AL is literally any Mariners pitcher. I think personally, my number one pick is George Kirby. I love George Kirby. That movement is insane. That one single knuckleball that he threw last year was absolutely disgusting. And then you gotta give love to Luis Castillo. He's been a dog for near 10 years now. And then Logan Gilbert, also a great live arm. And I think honestly, any 3 of them could take the award, and I think all 3 of them are also top 7 in the odds when it comes to betting. So I think George Kirby right now is the front runner, but it could be any 3 of them. And then also got to show some love to Detroit Tigers. They don't get much love often, but Tariq Skubal has been off to an amazing start this year so far. He's had 2 great starts, and I only think the momentum's going to build up from there. I like the Tigers team. I think, honestly, they have a good chance of winning the AL Central entirely. That's a little hot take of mine. I just think that, overall,
We're not gonna just skip past that and just say that.
Dude,
I honestly think this Tigers team can win the AL Central. I mean, the Guardians, Shane Bieber's
I
down.
think you're crazy.
Their pitching is awful besides Tanner Bibby, Tris McKenzie. I just don't know if I trust them yet. They're still on the younger side.
I mean,
And then the Minnesota Twins, I mean, their hitting is very streaky in my opinion. Byron Buxton, that guy plays 10 games a year if he's lucky. Royce Lewis hits a home run every other at bat, but he strikes out 4 times a game.
he's like
Joey Gallows.
Yeah.
Are you?
I was literally gonna say that. Him or Kyle Schwarber.
And then they lost their best arm last year in Sonny Gray to free agency. I just don't know if I trust.
Oh yeah,
That's
so
another
not about
crazy
Sonny.
I don't-
dude.
I don't know if I trust guys like Bailey Ober. I guess Joe Ryan is a good arm.
Lopez?
Pablo Lopez too, but I don't know how I feel about them. I think that the Tigers
Okay.
have a good chance.
The
of
Tigers are 7-4 right now as we're doing this, and the Guardians are 8-2 in the AL Central.
Bieber's down, though.
So
Yeah. I
that's
think
the only reason I would say it's not a like that. I think the Royals are also not playing up to
The AL Central,
not
I
yet.
think, is
So
reliable.
I just think.
Oh, 100%.
Yes.
I mean,
I just think the Tigers are just not that team yet.
yeah, I don't think
Fair
so
enough.
either. I mean, yeah, I don't
It's
think.
hard to say to beat the Guardians and the Royals. I
don't think they make
lost.
that much of a comeback.
Yes,
That's fair.
Like they were, I would say, borderline god awful last
I mean,
year.
there is one thing we
not
can agree
borderline.
on.
I don't know.
I mean,
they were awful.
The one thing
Yeah.
we can agree on is that the White Sox are going to finish
oh
last
my
year.
dude.
White Sox
I-
are the one. I like Luis Robert, but that is about it.
I mean, Yoel Moncada's okay, but I mean that
No, he's
the
not
ownership
good
needs to
recently.
sell while the pieces that they have are halfway decent.
I honestly, I mean, I'm just rolling off hot takes here. I think the White Sox finished worse than the Athletics this year.
The
I
White
think
Sox?
those two teams
That's
are.
gonna be tight.
I think those two
That is
teams.
tight.
I don't think honestly either
Oh.
team wins 65 games this year, and I just think that like the Athletics are being hated on a little too much. Honestly, they have some pieces there. The pitching is definitely a little sketchy,
I mean, yeah.
but
Their
like
fans
they're
are not
bad
even-
teams. Yeah, I mean
Yo.
both owners suck. John Fisher should sell the team and just remove himself from all things baseball. Personally,
I'll throw you another one. I think the Marlins are gonna be worse than both those teams.
really, you
Yeah.
think they're gonna be the
1-10
worst.
start. I mean,
Marlins?
nothing is looking. I mean,
The Marlins.
Luzardo's been off to a bad start.
Luzardo. I mean, Luzardo has. If you play fantasy baseball, you know Luzardo has negative fantasy points. He dropped him minus 15 last night. So
Is
or
that,
his
is that a
last start.
personal team thing?
No,
that you
no,
know?
I don't have him.
Oh, okay.
I mean, Dylan Hausner has him. So
Hey, D House.
Shout out to
I
them.
mean, so I just don't know. I don't think the Marlins are it this year. I just.
Yeah, I just don't know if you can go to the length of saying they're gonna finish the last though. Worse than the
No,
Athletics
the
and the White Sox.
Cardinals will finish.
Not a hot take though.
last.
I think they'll be bad.
They'll
In
be
the
bad.
entire MLB.
Hey,
I don't know if
no, they'll
they'll be
finish last in the AL.
NL Central.
NL, sorry.
Okay, that
NL
makes, I
Central.
can see that.
But I think they honestly could just fall off the face of the earth.
I mean,
at the
dude,
same
the
time.
Other guys are just old. Arenado,
Exactly.
Arenado took a big step back last year. Goldschmidt is looking like he's starting to take that step back as well.
They're
I just
both
don't know if
they're just regressing.
And
They're
Mason
just-
Wynn's not the shortstop that
I
I,
don't
think
know.
he's going to live up to be.
I just don't know if their young guys are gonna pick up the slack that
Yeah,
their aging
exactly.
pieces are gonna have. I mean, people used to think Tyler O'Neill was like the next Jesus Christ out in right field, and now he's just rotting away.
Yeah.
What, the Yankees at this point?
And
Where
Mason,
even is he?
yeah, I don't even know.
I mean, Nolan Gorman, I do like Nolan Gorman, great second baseman, but I mean, Tommy Edmonds hurt right now. They're just not going to really do anything great. And I mean, their entire rotation is over 30 years old, so it's just like they're bound to implode at some point.
Okay, while we're on the topic of hot takes, I want each of your biggest hot takes of the season. I want two
Ooh.
hot takes that you like.
I got
If
one.
you said that to anyone, they'd just be like,
I got one.
"Do you even know what you're talking
Yep.
about?"
Houston Astros missed the playoffs.
Okay.
Okay, yep.
No, like 100%.
That'll do it.
100% not
And
biased.
there it is.
100% not biased. I think Yordan Alvarez gets hurt again. I mean, guys.
Okay, you can say any team gets hurt. Okay,
No, I think he specifically gets hurt.
But he doesn't have a good history.
I
with
think
that.
their rotation struggles. I don't know if Verlander, yes, he is an Iron Man, but I mean, he comes back later. I don't
He's gonna
think-
find wine.
I don't think he's going to have a great regular season when he comes back. I mean, I think they're going to struggle under a first-year manager, and I think the teams have only gotten better around them. With the Mariners up and coming, they have a great rotation. The Rangers didn't get worse, so I think they're still a good team that can contend with them. And then, I mean, the Yankees are good out in the AL East. The Orioles are good. And
AL East is anyone's game.
So
the Red Sox
there's
even look
no-
like
exactly.
they
So I
decided.
just I think their best hope is to bag a wild card, but then that wild card race is going to be really, really, really tight.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
So that's the only. I think that's the way they miss it. They don't get a wild card.
I would say the only reason that they win is just experience. Like you just have
True.
to factor
They have
in.
guys
You just
who've
have to
been there
factor
for
in
so
just
long.
people that just know what they're doing in those type of scenarios.
Oh, 100%.
Like that's the only reason the Orioles will not make a deep run is
Yeah.
literally just because they don't have guys that know that playoff run,
Yeah,
how to go that deep, how to stay hot, how to do all of that. That's
They're a well-oiled machine.
But if they don't win the division, they don't get in. Is what my hot take is.
Okay.
I mean, that's
Which they still miss the
back down
playoffs.
to earth a
A
little bit.
little bit.
But
We
I
went
still
from
think
not making the playoffs to
yes.
not
I
winning
mean,
the division.
still. I mean, it's still. They gotta win a really tough division still.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I mean, my take is also very crazy. I mean, that is the point of this.
Yeah, I want
I
to hear
think
I mean-
the hottest take that I have here is that the Cincinnati Reds win the NL
this is
Central
crazy.
and win a playoff series this year.
That's crazy.
I think
Hey, Ellie De La Cruz.
that team,
Dude,
Ellie
kid's
De
a
La
monster.
Cruz is
Woo!
electric.
That's my boy.
And
No.
two different types of home runs last night.
Yeah.
Inside the
He's
park
crazy.
and outside the park.
Dude,
He's insane.
I know why I drafted him. I
Yeah.
knew he was going to
Spencer
be electric.
Steer is insanely good. He's off to a scorching hot start this year.
What are they right now?
Christian
what
Encarnacion
are they?
Strand is my one
They're 6-4.
player that like
They're 6-4.
6-4.
Is that the
I mean-
NL Central?
That is yes.
I personally think that team that is the team that I think could get hot at a moment's notice and just ride it into the playoffs. I think if the Reds find a way to win the NL Central, I don't see how they can't carry that momentum and at least win a series.
I don't have them winning the NL Central. I have the Cubs winning the NL Central.
I mean,
Okay.
I think
I mean,
the
Nico-
division's
dude.
anyone's game.
And Nico Hoerner's a
Dude,
dog.
the
I think-
Pirates are playing well.
Yes,
They
the
try
Pirates
every year.
start it every year. They play the first half great, and then the next third horrible, and then the last third even worse.
Not even the first half. I think last year
I was just
So-
trying to give them some
Last year,
Yeah.
the Pirates had the best
Good
record in the MLB after like
Defensive.
25, 30 games,
Yeah.
and then they finished as a bottom 5 team in baseball.
Yep.
And I think that happens again.
Yeah.
Personally, I just don't see them sustaining it. I mean, maybe Paul Skeens comes up and just decides to be the best pitcher in baseball history. That might keep him afloat, but other than that, I
It's
don't
gonna
see
be
them
Libby
making the
I mean,
playoffs at all,
dude,
even competing for the
It's going to be his
The
girlfriend.
best thing
that
about the
helps
Pirates
him.
is going to be the Libby Dunn attention this year. So
It's going to be his girlfriend that's
So-
the race in that.
I
He's going
mean-
to do anything.
I mean that division is wide open. I don't think the Brewers stay as hot as they kind of are right now.
Reese
But-
Hoskins, though, I mean, Mets killer.
Oh.
Tried and
Oh.
true.
Hurts the
Tried and
Phillies
true.
fans that
Where
are sitting
he's-
next to me.
Yeah, I really do miss
But,
him.
I mean-
but I'm glad he's still.
He's moved.
Just
It was.
killing the
He
Mets.
needed to move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
That
that
was
division
really
is definitely
key.
between the Reds and the Cubs. So
Yeah.
not
The
too
Red-
not too
okay.
much of a hot take, but that playoff win I do think.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
the winning the series. It was crazy. I think that was a little too far, but it wasn't that crazy of a take.
I mean,
like
they
you
win
saying.
85
Yeah,
games.
I
They can
mean-
beat the Dodgers with simply the power of friendship.
Okay,
Personally,
all right.
I mean, hey, you never know what.
Get
Hey,
out. Get out.
you never know.
Get
The
out.
Dodgers are perennial chokers. Every single
Okay, true.
year.
I didn't think. Well,
True.
this is all off topic, but I didn't think Purdue was gonna make it this far, and they made it.
No, I didn't. I'm a firm Zach.
I
Eady.
hate Zach Eady with a fiery passion. Let that be known.
I mean-
Zach Eady's a fraud. He will not translate to the NBA.
Dude.
He is not a good basketball player. He's just 7'3". He's not good. Make him like even 7 foot, and he'd be so. It burns me for people to tell me that he's a good
I
basketball.
feel like that's how everybody feels about Juan Soto. Like
That's true.
Not that he's not good, but I feel like everyone thinks he's the end all be all, and like he's the chosen one, and
He's-
like
no.
nah.
I mean, he did come to the league when he was 19 and produce instantly.
Okay,
but like,
true.
That the thing is, you gotta think about it. He's like only like 25,
Correct, but
and he's
Yeah.
doing this. Like, he's going to be in the
He's
league,
gonna
in the
peak
league
in,
for
like,
like another like
least
15
15
years.
years.
He still has room to get better, which is insane.
yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't know if it's
I
like
hate that the Yankees.
every
are like,
year I just
yeah.
hear that it's this year is Juan Soto's year, and it just hasn't been yet.
No,
I mean,
yeah.
he is a great player. He is on track to be a without a doubt first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yep.
I just don't know if the hype is going to be sustainable.
But you have him, and like just having both Judge and him, and just their roster's always just decent. Like they always have.
Unfortunately, but
Like-
once again, their entire roster is always made of glass. That's their one.
That's their
problem
one
that
thing.
stops them.
Moving on to more of a. This is gonna be something I think you
Okay.
might like more.
Yeah, a little
Then-
bit.
What?
A little bit.
Kind of like a dark horse.
Uh,
In the
Okay.
So we're gonna try and give a team that we think might make a run that sort of it's like a March Madness run almost
Yep.
in the playoffs, like a NC State for example in NBA in basketball terms, just a team that you would never expect to sort of go this far, but has the talent in our opinions. So I'm gonna actually lead it off with you because I led it off with him for the other
All right.
hot takes.
So other than the Cincinnati Reds and the Baltimore Orioles, which have both been touched on, the other team that hasn't really been touched on as much, in my opinion, I think the San Diego Padres could make a run. The only problem is, once again, they have to get there.
Yep.
That team is the definition of inconsistency, but their lineup is completely stacked. Fernando Tatis, Jake Cronenworth, Hyun-Sung Kim, Jackson Merrill now coming up. I saw some stat where it's 8 of the Padres' 9 starting infielders have all 8, or 7 out of 8, have all been at one point a shortstop in their career.
That's wild.
Every single Jurickson Profar was once a shortstop. Jackson Merrill in the minors was once a shortstop. Tatis, obviously. Jake Cronenworth was once a shortstop. Hyun-Sung Kim once a shortstop. Machado played shortstop. Austin Nola, fun fact, was at one point a shortstop.
So what I'm hearing
It's insane.
What I'm hearing is nothing should get through their infield then.
Yeah.
Exactly. They're a brick wall.
Exactly.
The only problem, in my opinion, is their pitching is getting a little old. And the loss of Blake Snell, in my opinion, I just don't know
I agree.
if they can really replicate that production.
Yeah.
Joe Musgrove is good. I mean, he's definitely a good, solid player. He'll get you games. Yu Darvish, I mean, I personally love Yu Darvish.
I do too.
Yu Darvish, he's so much fun to watch just because of how he pitches, everything. His pitches are insane. And then the only problem is he's getting a little up there in age. And I just don't know if I trust guys like Nick Martinez and Michael Wacha to really be playoff reliable starters. That's the only downfall. But I think their lineup, when they're hot, they're hot.
Yeah.
And that team, I would not want to face them in the playoffs if I'm honestly the Dodgers personally. If I'm running into the San Diego Padres, I'm going to be a little scared if I'm the Dodgers.
You have an AL team?
Besides the Orioles, I think a good one to touch on, I know you are a big fan of this team, is definitely the Mariners.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll let you steal the show here with that one. You know a little bit more about them.
Yeah, I mean, pitching, A tier. I mean, they got 3 or 4 guys. I mean, in a playoffs, really, you need 4 starters max. I think they got all 4 boxes checked, so I think that's covered. I think Julio Rodriguez needs to have a good year again.
Yeah.
Really, I think they can rally around those pitchers. I think they can make a good little run as a wild card team. So that would be my AL. I got 2 good NL ones. I think the Cubs, I think I've touched on. I think Justin Steele gets back healthy, good. They have a couple good pieces. Javier Assad has been off to a decent start, which is great. And then, as we talked about, Shota Imanaga is off to a great start as well. So I think if those 3 can stay steady, they could get someone via trade deadline, pick up another okay fourth pitcher if they're making a run at a wild card or at the division. So, I mean, in their infield, Dansby Swanson, great start this year. Nico Horner is, I love Nico Horner.
Great defender.
This is a hot take, but I think Cody Bellinger broke his curse. I mean, of being in Chicago, and I think he's a little bit back.
We'll see. I mean,
back
Chicago's known for breaking. They're known for breaking curses, though.
I think he's back a little bit, so he's been okay.
I mean, we'll have to see on that one.
Yeah.
I mean, you just need some guys that are more role players, kind of step up. Nico Horner's taking that step up. I would love to see, honestly, a guy like Seiya Suzuki take a step up.
Yeah, true.
He was pretty rough last year. I mean, getting a little off topic, but Yamamoto could end up as Ohtani, and then again, you have guys like Seiya Suzuki who are coming over from these 4 countries and just not producing whatsoever.
Exactly.
And I just think some of those guys just need to step up. Not even be an all-star or anything, just have at least relatively steady production, and the Cubs could make a pretty good run.
And then I have another one that's kind of far out there, but I mean, the Giants, I feel like they have enough pieces to make a run.
That was going to be mine.
I mean, they picked up Matt Chapman in the offseason, who I think is...
Wash.
You're crazy. He needed it out of Toronto.
That's
you think he's washed because Toronto's a horrible organization.
I wouldn't say horrible.
Okay, that was awesome. And
Yo,
then
all right,
they picked
well,
up...
I have nothing
I mean,
now.
if Logan Webb can get his stuff back, then yes. And
This kid. I literally
Blake
was
Snell,
gonna
I think,
say-
could get his stuff together too. I mean, those 2 could be a 1-2 big punch, and then Max Chapman, and so I mean, they can make a little bit of a run. They're just in a really big and tough division with the Padres, Dodgers, Diamondbacks. So I mean, they could be a sneaky wildcard team because the NL Central, I mean, besides whoever wins that division is in. I don't think anybody else gets in. And then besides then at least the Braves and then the Phillies will be right on the wild card cusp because that's how they always do, trailing the Braves.
90 and 72.
Yeah.
Phillies team is the most dangerous team out there.
I mean, so my true dark horse would be the San Francisco Giants.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that was mine. I was gonna say the Giants.
Bright minds think alike.
I have one more team that you have to be
okay.
I mean, if you don't, you said you were out. So.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say the Giants as well. Kind of just for, take this with respect. I don't know a lot. I'm not like Mr. Baseball Mind, but I know that they had a pretty decent offseason. So I thought that they might be a team that would develop and could make a run in the playoffs.
Jung-Hoo Lee.
Exactly.
He's a dog.
And again, I was gonna say the Blue Jays. I know they suck at like their organization issues and all of that.
I think they're fine.
But
organization-wise.
I think the only reason that they don't make it into the playoffs is literally just their division.
They're finishing dead last in the AL East. That's
the
all.
only. If
the
they were
Red
in any
Sox,
put
No way.
them in the Central and they play well.
Anybody in the Central.
Put any AL East team
That's
in the
true.
Central and they're
Okay.
winning that division.
I mean,
100%.
Well, in the West, put them in the West too.
No, I think the Blue Jays are finishing dead
I
last.
don't know if
Put them in the West. Put them
They're
in
not gonna win the
any other
West.
division,
They're
and
not
the
gonna
Blue
win the
Jays are a
West.
better team.
The Blue Jays are not beating out the
Bo
Astros,
Bichette,
Mariners, or Rangers.
Shout out Vladimir Guerrero. He's also on my.
Vlad
He's
Guerrero
also
Jr.
on my.
Yeah, he
fantasy
rakes,
team.
but
Dude,
God, his defense
They're
is atrocious.
starting Dalton Varsho, who is god awful.
They're
I
they're
mean,
pitching.
Love
their
Alejandro
pitching's not
Kirk, though.
bad,
Alejandro
Their
Kirk's
bullpen-
great.
Dude, the midget
Yeah,
can't run.
they're
Mine
bullpen's
too.
not-
I mean,
they're starting.
Okay,
if
well,
we're-
he took my Giants one was my very
Well-
specific one, and this kid stole
If we're
it.
talking AL East, though, I feel like
Whatever.
you have to give some love to the Tampa Bay Rays. Every single year,
They lost.
I don't
so
care. I don't
much.
care. Every single year,
Dude.
they just find a way to win games.
They lost
It's
too
insane.
much. They
I
This
lost
disagree
year
with you
might
on
be
that
the
one.
first year
Me?
they
No.
not.
Yeah,
This
I
year
think
might
they
be the
lost too
first year
much.
where they don't make the playoffs, but I feel like you have to at least give them some respect.
I mean, Rosarena's not playing like at his peak, like what that he was when they made the run in the bubble. I mean, they lost Wander Franco, who was a big piece to that whole puzzle.
But that's nothing they could control.
Yeah,
honestly.
but they lost him. Isak Paredes is not playing too great right now at third base. So I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think they are wizards at pulling great teams out of nothing. But I just don't think they can do it
You
this
think
year.
the time has come, essentially?
Yeah, I don't
Okay.
think. I mean,
I can kind of see
Makes
that,
sense.
I
but
think of Rosarena. I mean, I don't know. I mean,
Randy.
way too much to give up. But I feel like he's gonna want out sooner or later.
no, yeah.
So
No,
But I don't-
He's
he's-
gonna be gone.
he's
soon.
not leaving now. But if they
Next-
trade him, it's gonna be a huge package. But I just don't think he's coming out right now.
All right, I got one last thing that I want to talk about because this is gonna be more for you two because again, like I said, I'm no wizard when it comes to baseball. I'm a Phillies
Casual.
fan and I'm a casual.
He's casual.
I watch the Phillies. I will watch them play, but I will not turn on the Astros and the Dodgers if they're on. That's just not me.
I'd watch that.
I'd watch
See,
that.
they
That
did-
sounds
they-
like a-
exactly.
that sounds like a good
These
game.
two would
That
watch.
That sounds like a great game.
I know. See, exactly. I would not watch that because I'm not that. I like my team. I like the Phillies, but this is more for you two. Breakout players, people, and if you want breakout players or people that might just fall off a cliff, you could do either or. I'm leaving that up to you two for
Yeah,
your
I'm
little.
with you. So.
With breakout player, let's do rookie of the year too.
Okay.
Just because throw some young studs, breakout
Yeah.
players, younger players in there. I'll let you start.
So for my AL Rookie of the Year, John. The only reason he wanted to talk about Rookie of the Year is so he could have this moment.
No, you're taking it. Take
Personally,
it.
it's going to be either Wyatt Langford
No, give me one.
or Evan Carter. I'm
Yeah.
gonna mention them both just to spite this
Take
guy,
it.
and then I'm gonna mention those two names and say nothing else about it. Moving on to the NL, Shota Imanaga is my pick for Rookie of the Year. I don't give a crap about Jackson Churio
Oh.
or Yamamoto. I want to give a shout out to Jackson Merrill as well. I think the Padres are going to be a good team, and I think, he had 4 hits, I think, last night or the night before. He's looking really good out in center field so far, and his defense is actually looking really good as well. And I think that either of those two would be my 2 personal favorites.
Yeah, so I'm gonna, for all you AL Central fans, I'm gonna elaborate on the Wyatt Langford,
Oh, here we go.
Evan Carter debate. I don't
Everyone,
think.
buckle in.
I don't think.
This is where you
he's
skip
correct.
in the video.
Yeah, you
so
can-
5 minutes
He's
later.
correct.
Don't want, yeah, you
He's
can, if you
correct.
don't want to hear him talk for the next 10 minutes, just skip this part.
He's correct.
But listen to the outro though.
I think it is. I think it is a 2-man race. Wyatt Langford is. He got lucky. I feel like to be right, like get folded right into the starting 9. I mean, and he's made a great impact so far. I mean, he's had a stacked lineup, and so I feel like he'll be a great contribution. But I think Evan Carter will, having a little bit more experience under his belt, will have a little bit of a better season just because he's seen more pitches, he's seen more MLB talent. So I feel like Wyatt Langford, he'll have a really good year and probably finish second, but I feel like it's going to take some time to adjust to some MLB pitchers because, I mean, as you know, college to MLB is a huge jump.
Very similar to Randy Rosarena, where he performed in the playoffs and really good in the World Series, and then the next year still has his rookie eligibility and just goes out with the thing close.
Because I feel like Wyatt Langford, what he was known for in college is adjusting to pitches he hasn't seen, and I feel like he's done an okay job, but I feel like he's going to see too many pitches and not be able to catch up on all of them. So I feel like his average might be a little lower than what we're expecting it to be, but I mean, I think he'll still be a solid contributor. Exactly. And then this man's dissing my man Jackson Chourio. I mean, he, besides Christian Yelich, he's a centerpiece in that Brewers offense right now. And I feel
with Rhys Hoskins, of course.
With the Rhys Hoskins.
Whatever.
The Mets killer.
With the bat flip.
Oh my Lord. Philly's fraud right there.
Okay.
So I feel like if the Brewers are going to make a push, I feel like it's going to be Jackson Chourio and Christian Yelich. So he's off to a really good start. So I feel like I just don't know what else. Yamamoto, I mean, the voters are going to love Yamamoto, but I feel like he's going to have a good year, so he'll probably win it. But I want Jackson Chourio to win it. So I don't like the Yamamoto hype.
I don't hate it.
So,
all right. So for
breakouts.
My first breakout, I need to give a shout out to Maikel Garcia. Royals third baseman. He's been raking to start the year. He's been not Michael Franco.
No, thank
you. I know who he is. Also a Royals legend, by the way. Maikel Garcia has been absolutely raking at the hot corner this year. He's going to take a step up, and I honestly don't see a realm where he doesn't maintain this hot streak that he's on right now. And then another one, if D. House is watching right now, he would be very appreciative. I see Francisco Alvarez making the jump and being at least a top 5 catcher in baseball.
Dylan's gonna text me.
That guy rakes. He is so good at just bat to ball, hitting the ball. His defense is pretty good. I mean, it's definitely has a little bit of improvement to do, but his framing is pretty good. And honestly, on the other side of New York, I think Volpe is going to have a great breakout too. I hate both those teams. I mean it when I'm saying this. Volpe's defense has been looking definitely better this year. His bat has finally had at least some life. Because last year, I mean, you honestly can't do any worse than you did last year. People were calling for Volpe to be the Rookie of the Year when he was absolutely atrocious. And I think, honestly, now that he's had a year under his belt, he's adjusted kind of that New York market, and he doesn't have as much pressure with Juan Soto in town now. I don't see any reality where he doesn't take a huge leap.
Okay, I have one player, and the only reason I know this player is because my friend's a big Nationals fan.
No, you better not take who I think you're going to take. Go for it.
Go ahead.
I think he plays either second base or shortstop. I don't know exactly.
CJ Abrams?
God,
that's my pick.
My friend's big Nationals fan. Watches every game, tells me about every game. When I see him in management, he'll be like, "Oh, you watch the Nationals?" No, I watch Nationals. Yeah. I watch the Phillies. Well, when the Phillies just had a series against them, so I did actually have to watch them. Yeah. But all I know is that this kid is just. He's just good.
He's electric.
He's just good.
Yeah.
I just watched and I was like, wow.
That's my pick. I mean, he had a great last year. I mean, he's
only going to get better, too.
Played 151 games. I mean, you can't really ask for more.
Yeah.
Right now he's injured, so we'll see. Well, I mean, if he's going to break out, he has to stay healthy.
Yeah.
So, in 28 games and 28, in 7 games and 28 at-bats, he has 5 runs, 10 hits, 17 total bases. And, 2 home runs and a triple. So, man has power, but he's a great defender, too. So, I think he just has to stay healthy. But,
anyone else besides him? I'm sorry, I didn't even realize that.
I didn't even realize it. He was my pick.
I didn't even realize that's what you get with the Giants.
I honestly think that if C.J. Abrams maintains the pace that he's on currently, as well as how good Mackenzie Gore's been, I honestly think you could look back at the Juan Soto trade between the Nationals and Padres and say that the Nationals could be, honestly, winner. Because the Padres, what did they accomplish with Juan Soto?
That's true.
What did they accomplish?
A playoff run.
C.J. Abrams and Mackenzie Gore look really good, and they are future cornerstones for the Nationals, moving on from the atrocious contract that is Steven Strasburg. May he have a happy retirement, living in a multi-million-dollar mansion.
He's the Kirk Cousins of the MLB.
Good for him. kind of.
Contract wise, yes.
Yeah, but I mean, he retired and he's getting probably at least like $50 million.
That's what I'm saying.
To sit
Kirk
on his
Cousins,
couch.
he's
I
basically,
mean,
yeah. I'm trying to include our football.
fair
audience
enough. Fair enough.
For those who don't know.
I have another hot take. John's slacking a little bit, I guess.
All right. Well, hot take. Will go.
All right. So I think that after Strider going down, I think there is a reality where Chris Sale could be the best pitcher in the Braves rotation right now. I mean, Max Fried is obviously
wouldn't know.
He's a dog.
Actually, okay.
He's a dog, but Chris Sale in his first 2 starts back, he's looked pretty good. I mean, nothing amazing, but I mean, he just, as long as he stays healthy, that is the biggest issue for him. I think there is a chance where he could be the Braves' #1 starter in the playoffs.
Yeah.
If Spencer Strider goes under the knife and gets.
Is he the one that throws like submarine kind of? It's not like submarine, but
he's known for a slider.
It's
yeah,
like
sidearm. It's a
sidearm.
very
Okay.
low arm slide.
Then I know who we're talking about.
Yeah.
Played for the Red Sox a while
Yes,
ago.
yes.
I mean, yeah.
And then, I mean, I'm going to just keep rolling here. I think
Okay,
Corbin Burns also takes a step back, and I think Grayson Rodriguez, by the end of the year, will be the #1 starter for Baltimore.
He's my AL breakout. So.
Yeah, I mean, I think Corbin Burns, he's good, but he's on the wrong side of 30 right now. I just don't know exactly how he's going to fit in that Baltimore system. Adley Rutschman makes any pitcher look like Jesus Christ. That man is insane.
Okay, I know.
He is so good. Adley Rutschman is so good behind the dish. And I think Grayson Rodriguez, he's only going to get better this year. He's like primed for a breakout, and I think it's going to take him over the edge over Corbin Burns. And honestly, there could be a reality where the O's don't even re-sign Corbin Burns.
True.
Well, guys, honestly, I think that we covered a lot, and I'm
Yeah.
actually I'm really satisfied with that. We did cover a lot. Thank you. Well, I'll give you some final thoughts. Any final thoughts that you two want to?
Yeah, I'm gonna end my
I'll give
spiel.
them some time to throw out what they want. and
One
then-
more hot take
Yeah.
for all you Acuna fans.
He's
my fall off.
Why?
He is my fall off player this year.
Yeah, go.
I mean, he hit, what did he hit, 50 and
So
70
bad.
last year or whatever
Good,
it was.
okay.
Yeah, something like
Cry
that.
He had like a what,
A
50,
lot.
70 season? Like, I
Who
mean,
cares?
Yeah,
I think he
only
falls
player
off.
only player in history.
I think he does. I think he has like 30 and 20, 30
you-
homers, 20 bags, but I mean,
You have to think about. You have to follow up that year. Like it's kind of
True, but I mean, people are saying he's going to go up above and beyond, have another first season.
He's going to come back down to earth a little bit.
Oh, I think it's going to be a significant fall off. But
Ooh.
I mean, hey, it's hot.
I would love it.
It's a hot take.
I mean,
I would love that.
that lineup is so
Those
stacked.
stats-
Yeah. No Strider.
Logically speaking, I don't know how I
Dude,
feel
that
that.
lineup is so
Marcel-
stacked. He doesn't have to be that good.
That's fair.
Like he doesn't need to be like the Bobby Witt that Bobby Witt has to be
Yeah.
for the
I mean,
Royals.
you got
Witt.
Austin
Yeah.
Riley, Matt
Yeah.
Olson, Ozuna from the Braves.
Exactly.
Ozuna from the Braves.
I mean,
Michael Harris is a
Yeah.
great batter.
that team is good, but I think Acuna isn't the Acuna he was last year.
I mean, we'll see. He's a young guy. So.
True.
All right.
Any final thoughts from you? Will?
The Philadelphia Phillies will be crowned your 2024-2025
What a take! I
2024
love
World
it.
Series champions.
That's crazy.
I mean, they will be the 5 seed in the playoffs most likely. But I mean, they'll probably face the Braves in round 1. That's obviously
You know what's
clear
everyone
win.
knows what's gonna happen.
Everyone knows it's gonna happen, especially with no Strider now.
No
I mean,
Strider. Apparently,
easy.
the Acuna fall off.
I mean, we'll see how that happens. The Dodgers,
He's not gonna do as well.
$1 billion
Dodgers,
doesn't
nah.
scare me. Phillies have once again the power of friendship. Kyle Schwarber,
The power of the city
Hoagie
of
Fest.
brotherly love.
Hoagie Fest will be for 6 months.
Oh,
in
yeah.
October. They are going to win the World
Oh, yeah.
Series. You heard it here first.
Dear Lord.
Hey, there's no bias there. He's just speaking.
No
straight
bias
facts.
whatsoever. I'm speaking
He
from
doesn't
a
know what he's
purely
talking
logical
about.
standpoint.
That's crazy.
This guy just doesn't know. He doesn't know ball.
I'm gonna
personally.
admit, as a Phillies fan, right here, right now, it's our year. If we don't do it this year, I don't know what we're.
The window is closing very
Very quickly.
quickly.
I feel like honestly,
This
This
is
is
our
this
last.
is it.
This
This
is
is
the
the
last
year.
year with how Castellanos has looked. Schwarber
Yeah.
is old and fat. I mean,
It's now.
He was always old and fat.
It's now or time to rebuild.
Yeah.
yeah.
Start getting
Or
rid of
retool.
pieces.
Yeah.
I mean,
I've
what to
said
say?
this.
Hey,
It's-
Nick Abel and Andrew Painter are ready. They are primed. They could come up mid-season and they could be that playoff boost in the Phillies.
I do
But
think we paid Nola too much.
That's
But
yeah.
I mean,
that's
he is
my
a
one
Philly.
problem.
The
He's-
only reason I was
Philly
okay
for
with
life.
it is just because he's a Philly guy and he's
he is
with
the
us.
Phillies' longest
But
tenured
if
player.
you look at it from a business standpoint and not with a Phillies standpoint in my mind, we paid way too much.
Oh, I mean,
Yeah.
pitching is everything for the Phillies this year, I think.
Oh,
Yeah.
if we
I mean,
had
Aaron
a better
Nola's
bullpen,
trash,
oh,
but
a better bullpen, and we could.
MLB Network ranked the Phillies bullpen as number 1 in the MLB, and I think they've already had 2 or 3 blown saves this year.
yeah,
Yeah,
So,
we
four runs
need
in extra
to
innings.
get
how
that
about it?
together.
Yeah,
But-
That's all we need to get together, and the
Yeah.
bats need to get hot again. And
yeah. I
that,
mean,
that take
Spencer,
will be engraved in the
Spencer
SBC
Turnbull
podcast
has looked
history.
amazing so far. Ranger Suarez, come on, prime for a breakout.
Prime.
How can you hate Ranger Suarez? He's the best fielding pitcher in baseball.
Yeah, but Aaron Nola's Aaron Nolaing and freaking
Oh,
He
a
does get-
bunch
I mean,
of runs,
we
a
just
bunch
gives
of
him a-
hits.
He gives him a home run at least
Am I wrong?
every couple
Was
Haters
his
seasons.
first start against the Braves?
Haters are our biggest
Exactly.
haters.
Come back to me when the Rangers don't make the playoffs.
All right, I'll
All
come
right.
back to it.
All right, enough.
yeah,
All right, thank you guys for all tuning in to number 3 of Power Talk. It's really rolling.
go.
It's rolling now. I'm gonna really try to get a special guest over the summer. That I'm not promising anything. So please do not keep me to that. But I'm gonna try and have
I'll be the special guest, by the way. Okay. Fine.
But I'm gonna try and keep this going over the summer. Especially, it's gonna be a little bit harder. But I could do stuff with some friends from home. You never know. I do have some great minds at home that could help me out. Okay, maybe relax. But yeah. So thank you all for tuning in, and this has been Power Talk.